welcome to today's 6-minute makeover. One of the number one questions I always get over and over is how can I make consistent sales? And there isn't one answer to this question because it often has to do with what's going on in your shop. Oftentimes there's one thing that you're missing or one thing you're not doing that can create more sales. In fact, if you look below this video, you'll see that I've reviewed several other shops who are struggling with consistent sales, and the answer is always different. But today, I'm looking at Adria Studio. This is a beautiful watercolor artist, and she has the most amazing items. They're absolutely gorgeous, and she's struggling to make consistent sales on a regular basis. Now, if this is you and you have a beautiful item, your SEO is on point, and you're making sales but you're not making regular sales, then the easiest way for you to figure out if something's wrong is to compare yourself to your competitors. So just take what you sell in the simplest form and search Etsy for it, and we're going to find some of your competitors. So in the case of Adria Studio, we're going to search for watercolor because that's what she's selling. We could search for prints or art, but we're just going to keep it simple and go with watercolor. And all you want to do is scroll through these listings, and what you're looking for are shops that have lots of reviews because that's an indicator that they've had tons of sales. And we want to compare you to a shop that has been consistently doing well for a long time. As you can see, there are two right here that have lots of reviews, so we're going to start by looking at some of those. So her first competitor is called Pinky Art, and they basically do customizable nursery art prints. So this is a very specific niche. They do have some watercolor items down here. One of the things I'd like to point out about this shop is that she's made over 12,000 sales. The other thing that's really interesting when you compare her to Adria Studio is that she has a clear theme. She knows who her target audience is. It's people who are shopping for a nursery or kids room. She also knows that they like things to be customized, and she probably figured that out because she knows her audience so well and they keep asking her for the same thing. When you know who you're selling to, all of a sudden, you won't have to worry about will what I'm creating actually sell or not. Your items won't sit there collecting dust on shelves anymore. Instead, you'll start to see increased sales and you'll start to move up in the results for your category faster and faster. And that is the benefit of knowing who your target audience is. Let's take a look at another watercolor shop who has something similar going on. This is Create the Cut. She does watercolor, clip art, and graphics. And as you can see, she's made over 38,000 sales. So she's selling specifically to somebody who's using her watercolors either to make some kind of document, something that they can print, some sort of product they can sell, and people use her clip art to create their own art. So yes, she's doing watercolor. Yes, it's similar, but she knows her target audience. She's not just selling to anyone who wants watercolor. She's selling specifically to people who want her graphics. And as a result, she's made tons and tons of sales. Finally, let's take a look at Quantum Prints. Quantum Prints has had over 46,000 sales, and they too are using a clear theme in their shop, which means they know their target audience. So these items are usually prints or print sets. They're pretty vintagey, they're kind of industrial. They definitely go well in the loft of somebody who maybe is kind of hip and lives in the city. You can often tell by looking at the categories who someone's selling to. The topics that have a lot of items are usually good selling topics, so you can figure out exactly what's going on, what people like, and what this person's target audience is. So in the case of Adria Studio, she has the most beautiful artwork, but there's no clear person she's selling to. She's selling to everyone, and the fact is, when you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. Because not everyone is interested in your items. In a perfect world, they would be, but the fact is people have different tastes, and you need to start selling to a consistent audience. In the case of this shop, all she might need to do is simply rebrand some of her prints or create some new designs that are geared more towards the person she wanted to sell to. So for example, if she wanted to start selling nursery prints, she could do a lot of beautiful blues and pinks. Maybe she could take her watercolor and put them into the shape of an animal or something that would relate to a boys or girls room. And she could show pictures of them inside of the nursery. Just doing something like this and choosing a specific target audience can really help you to boost your sales and get stuff going in a more consistent manner. So if you're in a situation like Adria Luna Prints, start by comparing yourself to your competitors. Make sure you're creating items for a specific audience so that you can constantly generate sales, and don't try to sell to everyone. The more you try to sell to everyone, the more you'll struggle to make sales on a regular basis. And finally, don't forget, you need to see how many items your competitors have in their shop. If you're not even close, then that's often a sign that you need to push it further to get where they are. So that's today's 6-minute makeover. Thanks so much for watching.